When we talk about human rights, the first thing that usually comes to mind is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by the United Nations in 1948. But did you know that the Muslim majority states adopted in 1990 a human rights declaration, known as the Cairo Declaration on Human Rights in Islam? In this video, we'll explore what these two important documents stand for, where they agree and where they differ. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted in the aftermath of World War II. It represents a global commitment to uphold the dignity and rights of every human being. The Universal Declaration outlines a broad range of rights and freedoms, from freedom of speech and religion to the right to education, work, and protection from discrimination. It is grounded in secular, liberal values and aims to apply equally to all people, regardless of race, religion, or nationality. The Cairo Declaration on Human Rights in Islam was adopted by the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, an umbrella group for the 57 or so Muslim majority states, as a regional and religious response to the Universal Declaration. The Cairo Declaration affirms many of the same human rights: life, dignity, education, work, justice, and freedom, but frames them within the principles of Islamic law, or Sharia. The Cairo Declaration reflects the belief that human rights and duties are inseparable from divine law. So, while the rights are similar in many ways, their source of authority and interpretation differ significantly from those of the Universal Declaration. Now let's look at some key similarities. For example, the right to life and dignity. Both declarations affirm that every human being has the right to life, dignity, and protection from violence or oppression. Another example is the right to education, work, and family life. Both recognize the importance of education, the right to earn a livelihood, and the central role of the family in society. A third example is condemnation of discrimination and injustice. Both reject racism, exploitation, and unjust treatment, though they frame these rejections in different legal and moral languages. But there are also important differences, especially in how rights are defined, limited, and enforced. In terms of source of authority, the Universal Declaration is based on secular, international legal norms, while the Cairo Declaration is grounded in Islamic legal tradition, with the Sharia as the ultimate reference. As for freedom of religion, the Universal Declaration guarantees the freedom to change one's religion or belief. In contrast, the Cairo Declaration protects freedom of belief within the bounds of Islamic law, which traditionally does not permit conversion away from Islam. In relation to gender equality, the Universal Declaration emphasizes formal equality between men and women in all spheres of life. The Cairo Declaration acknowledges the dignity of women, but defines their roles in accordance with Islamic values, often placing greater emphasis on traditional family roles. What about freedom of expression? The Universal Declaration defends the freedom of opinion and expression without interference. The Cairo Declaration recognizes this right, but limits it where it conflicts with Islamic values or promotes what is considered immoral or harmful in Islamic law. For example, blasphemy is not tolerated. What about the legal framework? Perhaps the most significant difference is that all rights in the Cairo Declaration are subject to Islamic Sharia. This means that rights are interpreted and applied through a religious lens and may vary depending on local interpretations of Islamic law. So, what does this all mean? The Universal Declaration and Cairo Declaration share a commitment to human dignity, justice, and the value of human life. But they come from different worldviews, one secular and universalist, the other religious and community-centered. While some see these frameworks as conflicting, others view them as complementary, each reflecting the diverse moral and cultural traditions of humanity. Understanding these differences isn't just an academic exercise. It's essential for fostering dialogue, mutual respect, and effective cooperation in an increasingly interconnected world. Thanks for watching. We hope this deepened your understanding of Islam. Be sure to check out the other videos in this series. Keep exploring. Don't forget to subscribe.